Hello, House of Metamorphosis Tribe. Welcome back to the channel where we're transforming hairdressers from the inside out. And today's conversation is how to alleviate burnout. Now, I know I've spoken about burnout and emotional labor in past videos and sharing how they happen. And this time I wanted to support you in how to alleviate burnout from happening. One of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention about burnout is that burnout is a choice. Burnout is something that you can choose to engage in or not to engage in. And it's the choices that you make every day that serve you or harm you. And that's one of the most predominant factors on how to alleviate burnout. Just because you're in hairdressing, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to engage in burnout choices that will cause burnout. The things that cause burnout are using stimulants to actually give you a false feeling of energy and vitality, using sugars to give you a false feeling of energy and vitality, skipping meals, using other substances to give you pick-me-up so that you feel falsely vital, and you can override your natural energetic system and flow, and you can pack in more work that overrides your nervous system, overrides your parasympathetic system, overrides your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual systems completely. And these are your intelligent markers in your body. And if you're using any kind of substance or stimulants to give you the energy you need to get through your day, then your body is not in a place where it can communicate to you clearly about what is okay for it and what isn't. So you find that over a long period of time, especially if you've been in the industry for a really long time, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's okay when you're in your 20s because you don't really notice it, or your teens, or even your 30s. But when you get, into your 40s and you've been at this work for 20 odd years at this point, if you started young, like I did, I started at 15, if not younger, but I actually started my apprenticeship at 15, legally, like as in going to school and whatnot. I started it then, but being a third generation hairdresser, I was brought up in a salon. So I was always, folding towels, sweeping floors, making coffees at my parents' salon when I was on school holidays and whatnot. Even from the age of 10, 11 and 12, I remember doing that. So I've been doing it for a long time. But, in saying that, I recall, and even people that I work with, that part of the philosophy, I suppose the culture of hairdressing, is that you don't matter. Let's see if something comes up in your body while I'm saying this. You don't matter. Your needs don't matter. The most important needs that need to be prioritized for your day are your clients. So how you get through that and deliver the work that you deliver, even if it means overriding your own systems and exhausting yourself, where at the end of the day, like how's Christmas for you? At the end of the day, leading up to Christmas, say for instance, you just absolutely, like you're walking in your door barely alive at home after a day like that, and you just cannot listen and cannot speak to a single soul. And your family might get that for a whole week or two through that period where you're in that state. So it affects, working in that way affects your entire life, not just you, but everybody that's around you. And it comes to a point where you need to sort of like go, well, what kind of a life do I really want to have? And do I want to work myself in a spin like that where I've only got maybe a decade or two in this industry, and then I'm going to have to think about doing something different when I get older, because I can't maintain that without using stimulants to support me to keep up with the performance that I've allowed my clients to get used to me delivering. Now, if you're a natural high vibe, high energy person, and you get up in the morning and you train and you exercise and you go to the gym and you run and you do all the things and you get in and you've got really high natural energy and you don't use stimulants and all of those things, that's your natural capacity. But if you're not one of those people, and you need a lot of caffeine, say, for instance, to get you through your day, then that is not your natural rhythm. And what is your natural rhythm? Because the only reason why you end up in a burnout state is because you've gone against your authenticity and what your natural rhythm is. And the most important thing is finding out what your natural rhythm is for you. And this, you can take a look at, you can do the initiation self-mastery course that I've got at the House of Metamorphosis, and that'll actually take you through how to find what that rhythm, who you are in the landscape of your internal and external landscape, how you meet your authenticity in that to get you started, and it's all there for you. But it's really important on how do we actually find our own rhythm, and it's different for everybody. It's not the same. Every individual is going to have a different type of rhythm, and it is going to be eclectic and colourful and interesting to work that out, especially when you're running a big salon with a lot of staff. Every single staff member is going to need a different rhythm, a different booking system to be running by, because it's based on what their capacity is. Now, a lot of people say, well, if I don't drink coffee and if I don't, do an hour haircuts and I don't keep up with my schedule, I'll fall behind and I won't make my targets and all the rest of it. It's like, not in the holistic model. The holistic model is about honoring yourself first and your well-being. And beyond that, it's actually about, well, what is my energy worth? What is my engagement worth? And then you start putting a value on your hourly rate in terms of what it takes you to sustain your own value and worth and meet your work in an integrous way that firstly prioritizes you and secondly prioritizes the client and the professional service that you're offering. And that might mean that you don't do hour clients anymore, but you do an hour and a half clients. And if you're charging $200 for an hour client, now you're charging $300 for a 1.5 hour session. So, you've increased your profit margin because you're taking longer time, but in that longer time, you're not losing money. You're actually gaining self-respect. You're maintaining the integrity of your energy and honoring your needs in that. And it's so important, like looking at how you start your day. If you're one of those people that has a coffee before you even open your eyes, that's already telling your systems like, shut down, don't talk to me. I'm going to tell you how we're going to be running today. And the coffee is the first thing that it's communicating to your nervous system, saying that it's being overridden by a stimulant. And you're not allowing your body to wake up to inform you. And there's intelligence, and I don't want to get into this deeply because there's a lot of theory behind it, which we cover and evolve in initiation in the first 4 modules. And there's a lot of theory around the important systems and mechanisms of your bodies. I'm talking about, your physical body, your emotional body, your sensory body, your energetic body, your spiritual body. There's a lot of systems and awarenesses, characteristics that you need to be aware of that need to be factored into your day, because this is your intelligence system that supports your own barometer of what is available for you energetically and what isn't, and meeting that natural barometer and then adjusting your day accordingly. So it's alleviating burnout is a choice. It really is. It's a personal choice. It's a personal choice. The choice is, do I choose myself, or am I going to override myself for my work, my clients? And I'm going to give my totality to my clients and not factor my own self-care and well-being into this exchange. That it's a choice. You can see it right there. It's a choice on how you choose to factor your well-being in and your self-care in to your day working with people. And that is how you alleviate burnout, is by choosing yourself and actually bringing in, like cardiovascular work, resistance work, cycling, swimming, all sorts of things that actually naturally increase your vitality and life force without it being needed, extended out to having stimulants. And I'm not saying, having a coffee here and there is a terrible thing. It's not. It's enjoyable. It becomes an enjoyable thing, not a medicine that you need to take to actually keep you going. And that's the burnout, because it's really working on your nervous system and it is breaking down over time. Your nervous system breaks down and then there is nothing left. You're in fight or flight and you don't even realize that you're in fight or flight all the time. And, that's traumatic. That's a lot of trauma in the system, that the system is actually breaking down. And, just a personal story, I remember when I came off the salon floor and I sold my business, it took me a good 3 or 4 years to alleviate my fight or flight parasympathetic nervous system, to regulate it. It took me at least that long to unwind from the years of hairdressing on the floor and, go. And the reason why I can speak about the caffeine and the stimulants and the need is because I was one of those people. I had a coffee on the hour for every single client. And I'm lucky if I actually finished a sandwich by the end of the day, because caffeine fueled me and I was just on a high all day, just working. But I remember hitting a wall so hard at the end of the day that I just wanted to go home, have a bath and switch off from the world and not talk to anybody. But when you've got a family, which is what happened to me when I started having my family, I couldn't sustain that anymore, because I came home to my family and I wanted to have room and space and time for my family, for my life, for my loved ones. And things needed to be compromised through my day time in order to sustain and balance that personal and business life out. So, it's coming from experience. It's not just coming from studying and being a therapist and also being in the industry for 40 years. It's actually also lived experience. It's embodied. And I understand the need to actually pull in that balance to create a cultivated, healthy life. And that's how you alleviate burnout, is a choice. And what's your choice going to be? What are your top 5 things that you value? This is your little quest for this week. What are the top 5 things that you value about your life, that you prioritize, that are the most important thing to you? Write them down. And then take a look at what changes that you can make through your week and your days that can help you bring those values into equilibrium with your work, so that they are meeting each other and nothing's burning you out from achieving and living the life that you really want to be living in wholeness. This is about you, totally about you, and about bringing you into a priority of the picture. That's what's so important about this. Yeah, so that was my little sharing for today. And if you loved what I'm talking about and you want to know more about what it is that I do here at the House of Metamorphosis, please go to houseofmetamorphosis.au, check out the Evolve curriculum, check out the Initiation Self-Mastery course, and also check out mentoring, one-on-one transformational mentoring with me as well. You can book a discovery call there on the website, and we can have a chat together on how I can best support you to make these changes happen. Beyond that, if you just love this content, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that it may grow and people may find this content that are interested or don't even know that they might be interested in this, but it will help the channel grow. And beyond that, thank you so much for your time, your patience, your presence. And I'll see you on the next call.